Hi there, one final video and we are done with the term. Can you believe it? It just went, I told you, summers go really, really fast. So I'm recording this on Monday morning. So a couple things. Don't forget, one, that your Unit 3 project and the artist reflection are both due by the end of the day today. Up into the Google Drive. There have been some fun things posted already. If you haven't had a chance to look, you should, because I think you'll enjoy yourself cruising around. The second thing is we are now, with this last few days, doing the final portfolio. Those of you who've done 1101 with the quote-unquote new curriculum have been through this exact assignment, right? It's worth, my numbers may be different than other people's, but this is me. The final portfolio was really 50% of the grade. And since it's the summer, things get kind of weird, and since I essentially sent Unit 2, the feature articles, back to everybody and said just do it again, didn't give any grades on it, it's gonna change things up a little bit, but not that much, okay? And I'll explain to you as I go through this. So there's two parts of the final portfolio, and there is a folder in the Google Drive for final portfolio. You make your own folder and put your stuff in there. Okay, it can be a single document. It can be a document, you know, the revised pieces, and then the final reflection. It doesn't matter as long as it's all in one portfolio and it's got your name on it. One folder and has your name on it. So the two parts to the final portfolio are the revisions of Units 1 and 2, the portrait, and the feature article. And I have it that they're worth 20 points, like 10 points each. What this means is, for you in practical terms, is your revision, if your revision is really good, I will go back and put that grade from 1 to 10 and do it the right with the right numbers in the Open Lab gradebook. So for example, if you got a 4 or 3 on the 3.5 on the first on the portrait, it's like a 7, okay? If you do it, double it to make it 10. So, but if you make like a 9 in your revision, I'll go back and change that 3.5 to 4.5. Okay, so the numbers all even out. So your grade is almost reflected twice, if that makes any sense at all. So whatever you make on the revision of the feature, I'll go back and put that number, the correct number, into the gradebook as well. So if you make an A or get 10 out of 10 for the feature article, the revision that you did, I will go back and I'll put 5 in the gradebook, right? Because it's the same. I don't have as much points. So I think that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. The most important thing is what you do with the final revisions and that you put in this final portfolio. Okay. So this revisions of 1 and 2. You can put Unit 3 in there if you want to, but I will have just barely looked at it, so you know it's fine. And then the second part of it is the final reflection. And I'll go over that more in a little bit. And that's worth 30 points. That's worth quite a bit. Okay. Okay, so the final revisions. So the thing about the final revisions is that you also have to add a paragraph at the beginning of each piece. So at the top of the portfolio, the portrait piece, put a little paragraph, a little short paragraph right at the top. It doesn't have to be very long, explaining what you did to revise it, what you were thinking about, the feedback you got from me and or other people, what you wanted to do with it when you went back and revised it. You know, anything you want to say, just a little paragraph to tell me what you did and why you did it. Or if you didn't make any revisions, you didn't. Okay, that's pretty simple. But just tell me why. Okay, so both of those things need a little paragraph at the beginning explaining your revision process. Okay, simple enough. So a final reflection is worth a lot. It's a minimum of 1,000 words, and this is the important paragraph. It's ultimately more important because this is the time to think back on where you started, what you've done, what you've learned or not learned, what you think you might be able to take from this class going forward to other classes and into your community lives. And that's essentially it. Now there are real specific things that you need to do in it, but as you begin to do it, look back over everything you've done, including this first Padlet that you did. If I can get it to upload this morning, you were thinking about, you know, at the very beginning of the summer term, how you felt about the class and how you felt about writing. This is one of those things you can kind of go back and look at to remind yourself where the summer started. Summer's being intense and fast, and we forget things. If it's not right in front of us, it's gone away, right? That's the way I feel about summers. So as you start this reflection, you do not have to answer all of these questions. These are just things to kind of get you thinking about what you want to write, okay? As it says, don't just answer the questions. It's about where you started. Now, there's a couple of things that you have to put in here. Have to think about. This is sort of a formal essay. I mean, I don't. You all are, for the most part, really good writers, and so I'm not really worried about mechanics, that kind of stuff. Just make it as polished as you can. If you want to throw in slang and be real informal, that's okay with me too. Okay, just be consistent about it and be sure you look it over and it's doing what you want it to do. Don't make it all one paragraph. Okay, so that's one of the things. You know how I feel about long paragraphs, and I especially don't like them in reflections. Because I'm reading so many so fast, my brain kind of goes in a short circuit. So not all one paragraph. So these are things to think about. Okay. If you have personal things to say, that's fine, but you don't have to share them. And we're not doing a shitty first draft because we don't have time, and I just forgot to take this out. So you can communicate with me. So here's some things to think about. There's a so what to make a point. And don't try to flatter me. Although given what's going on this summer, I doubt anybody's going to flatter me. And that's okay. I don't care. I'm really immune to this stuff. I've been teaching too long. This is all about you. It's not about me. And if you want to talk about the course, assignments that worked for you, assignments you didn't like, things you had trouble with, talk about that. That's absolutely fine. And I need to know that so that I can make it better for the next class that I teach. Okay? But it's not about me. It's about you. Right? So, that's my dog playing with the watering can. Okay, it should have paragraphs. Now, here's the tricky part. You need to quote from something you did 3 times, just to kind of show, maybe what a sentence looked like when you did your first draft and what you thought about it, or what I said about it, or somebody else said about it, how you changed it. It could be, you could actually quote from a reflection or from an annotation you did on perusal. You can, it can be comments that you made. It can be just about anything. It really doesn't make a bit of difference. It can be from an Open Lab post. I don't care. It doesn't have to be a quote from Unit 1 or Unit 2's essays. It can be from any place. It's just a way to pull together things from the different things that you've done and put them into like an evidence section of it. It's hard to explain it, but you'll know it when you get there. Okay? So if you say, God, I used to write these really long paragraphs, don't put the whole paragraph in there, but you can, point to the feature article, and now I understand what paragraphs are supposed to be about. Right? So it's that kind of stuff. And then proofread it. So this is sort of the bottom line on it. The final revisions, the final reflection is really about your journey this term. It's like when you did the artist statement for the Unit 3 project, and you talked about your process of making it and the things you thought about when you were putting it together and how you felt it turned out and the process you went through to get it put together and completed. It's the same kind of thing. It's about your process for this whole term. So that's what the reflection is also about. Okay, so then upload it to the Google Drive, create a new folder, put your name on it. Now I have Thursday, end of day is due. That's the last day of the term. The truth is, I won't get to them until Friday morning because I don't stay up that late. So you've got until like 6 a.m. Friday morning, to be perfectly honest. If you're having trouble, let me know as soon as possible because the grades are due less than a week later, and I just don't have any wiggle room. So if something horrible has happened, let me know as soon as it did, and we'll see what we can do, okay? But I can't say avoid disaster, but, do what you can. But that's basically it. Try and get it in by then. These are the due dates. That's it. There's this little piece on perusal called The Maker's Eye. It's right here. And some people have already started reading it. It's short, and it's mostly just to think about the revision process. It's kind of nice to read this before you start working on your revisions because it'll let you step back and say, well, what do I need to do? How do I think through revision? What does it actually mean? Again, it's short. It's it's just not very long. Let me open it up here. And a couple people have already made comments on it, but you know, that's it. Pretty short. Right. And it gives you kind of an approach to doing revisions that I think is really nice too. So read that, and I will be reading those Wednesday for sure. And then by Thursday, put everything in the Google Drive. Okay. Like I said, I'm on a short leash on this thing. So here's the drive, final portfolio. Okay. We'll get things up in here and get them done by end of day Thursday or crack of dawn Friday, and we'll be good. I will have office hours tomorrow from 1 to 2 and Wednesday from 5 to 6. If anybody wants to drop in and talk about revisions or anything. Other than that, everybody go have a good rest of your summer. Get your work done. Take a little break, and I wish everybody the very best of luck. I will see you on down the road.